Hello guys, this is Ashutosh presenting before you assignment 3. So the first question is what is the use of .pem file and why it is required? So PEM stands for Privacy Enhanced Mail. So as the name suggests, it has something to do with the privacy. So PEM files are used to basically generate SSL certificates and their associated private keys. So what are these SSL certificates? So SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. Which means what is the use is that whenever we are establishing a connection between a client and a server, to establish a secure connection, SSL certificates are required. So the second question, what do we use AWS S3? Why can't we store files or images or static content in EC2? So AWS stands for Amazon Web Services and S3 is Special Storage Service. So it is a special service of AWS. We use AWS because it is flexible, scalable, it has high security. Also, it has a service that we can use it from anywhere at any time. We can store or retrieve any amount of data from anywhere at any time. So we prefer AWS S3. And why can't we store files or images or static content on EC2 instances? EC2 instance is basically used for computing, and so if the amount of data is increased or it has reached the limit, so we will need to upgrade our memory, so it will be very costly. So we don't use EC2 to store static content or files or images. So the third question is what a non-relational database and what is the major difference between relational database versus NoSQL? So non-relational database are those databases which does not use any tabular form. That is, they don't make the use of rows and columns to store and retrieve their data. Rather, they use simple files or documents to store their data. And what is the major difference between relational database versus NoSQL is relational database is basically a synchronous and NoSQL is asynchronous. Basically, relational database makes the use of rows and columns and tabular form, and NoSQL it don't make use of any of these kinds of tables or columns. So this can be the major difference between relational database and NoSQL. And also in relational database, we use structured query language, and in SQL, we cannot use any structured query language we can use. But in relational database, we can use only the specified structured query language. So the fourth question is how do we decide whether we should use relational database or NoSQL database? So we can use relational database where we need data consistency, integrity, atomicity, and these kind of things. Means where our data is structured data, where we cannot miss the data or the data is large and the calculation is large. In that manner, we can use tables and columns, and we can use relational database like in banking, banking system, or any government sector. Like this, we can use relational database. And NoSQL can be used at places where the structure is not maintained, like social media post, Facebook post, Twitter post, and etc., where the data is consistently increasing, but there is no structure, means the data is unstructured. So that's all about the assignment 3.